Very cool. Welcome to the Beyond Cinema studio here at Sundance. Sheila, Lily, Arash. Firstly, congratulations on having a girl walks home alone at night here at the festival. One of the longer titles.
Yeah.
What made you want to create this kind of Iranian Western vampire story shot in Los Angeles?
It just felt like the right thing to do.
Always?
Well, okay, I put on this chador one time. It was a prop from another movie,
Yeah.
and I just felt like a vampire, or a bat or something. I was like, this is the character for a movie, and I'm Iranian, and I love vampires. And
But how hard was it to recreate like an Iranian background and shoot it in LA? Was it difficult, or was that always the plan?
it was a huge pain in the ass, yeah,
Yeah.
but not that huge.
So what did you have to do to make it real?
We had it.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it.
We actually shot in Central California mostly, and it has a complete vibe of its own. It just feels otherworldly as you drive into it. So.
But let me also say something about that, because you're talking about what it looks like. And, we found this town, Taft, and it's this small, kind of very cinematic, dilapidated oil town.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a blank canvas, but we wanted to put all these Iranian touches and make our own. I mean, it's like a dark fairy tale. It's not like a real place, But we wanted to do this and design this world. And our production designer, his name is Sergio.
Student of film, a student of
I
cinema.
mean, look, vampires are OG. We're talking about Nosferatu, Dracula. This shit is way beyond. The vampire is a serial killer, a historian, an addict, and a romantic, all in one character. I mean, that's a juicy fucking character. Who wouldn't want to make a film and make a story with a character like that? So, it's Herzog did it, Coppola did it, Bigelow did it, Jarmusch, Spike Lee's doing it. It's sexy, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
It opens so much possibilities cinematically, and to have fun with a story. And
Did you know Sheila before and Arash before this
I,
film?
I knew them both, and
Yeah.
I wrote it for them. It was always them.
Very cool. So the first time you sat down with her about this project, was it something that you'd been mentioning over the time, or was it we need to talk, I've got something, I want you to be in it?
No, well, she had done kind of a proof of concept short, so I'd seen that and loved that. And then we were walking down the street in New York one day, and she said, I want to turn that into a feature, and I want you to be the vampire. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
But you have to cut your hair.
But you have to
Her
cut
hair
off
was really long.
all of your hair.
I was really short. And she's like, okay.
I've been waiting for a reason to do it, so, and also, I would do anything for you.
Okay.
Remember that.
Yeah, I am right now. I'm formulating some.
It's kind of cool as well, because you're taking obviously something that there's a heritage there to it, right? But by shooting it in California and then having you in the film, obviously you're from the US, right? Have you ever even been to Iran? I know your background.
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that all of our identities are kind of mashups, and it just sort of is intuitively in the spirit of the film.
Right, because I assume that most people would assume that you are from Iran,
Yeah.
given the role in Argo as well, and but to have that experience kind of coming at it from a kind of new generation is probably pretty interesting.
I think it's really nice to be in a movie set in Iran that's not really about Iran.
Yeah.
I think that's rare. So.
because you're probably asked to comment on the politics of the country a lot of times, and on this situation you don't really have to. It's more about finding little elements. For you, Arash, you get to keep your name in the film.
Yeah. So as she said, it was written for me. Yeah.
That made
So
it. That makes it.
That
easy.
made it even harder, actually.
You're probably
to be that.
Oh, it did make it.
There was
harder?
no line.
There was
Yeah.
no line.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it was hard to separate that, you know.
Do you prefer to kind of go off on location and sink into a different name? Is that helpful to you?
Yeah, that was actually how I used to start with drama, so trying to be someone else. And yeah, of course, I'm not so. We have similarities with my character, but it's not that, you know, he has a tougher life than I do.
Right. Why did you decide to shoot this in black and white also? Is it just, I mean, you know, there are commercial people that would say you're crazy, and I'm sure that they said that to you along the way, that said, you know, it might limit the audience. But for me, obviously, you've got this whole like graphic novel sensibility, and you know, and you both got like animation sensibilities, you know. So it's like, what for you made it a must?
you know, it's not like I was like, I need to do a black and white film, certainly, but like, I don't know. I think like every story tells you what it needs to tell itself, and like I just instantly was like, this has to be in black and white. The short was in black and white. It was never even a question. It's like this chador is this like black kind of stark, bold shape, you know, and it's like that against white. It's just like something really sexy visually for me. And then, of course, like the dark fairy tale element. It's like black and white like gives you this like separation between the realism towards surrealism, and then that gives you space to do the supernatural shit and the vampire shit and like all that stuff and sell it. And so yeah, it just felt, and anamorphic. I mean, it's not just black and white.
And was it always your intention to have like a graphic novel element as well, where you can continue to tell the story in different ways?
I mean, it was like when I wrote it, I'm really into like answering every question about every character exactly with who they are and what their life is beyond what's there. And of course, when you have a vampire, that's like hundreds of years of history, and suddenly I had all this like this huge universe, and it turned me on like crazy. And I was like, and I love the graphic novels, like, you know, huge fan of, but not like the Marvel stuff. I'm more into like Crumb and Charles Burns and like the cerebral trippy stuff. And I just always, graphic novels are so hard. It's like so much work to do the drawings, and like it's a really hard thing to do right now. And so when I had it, and then I found these partners, and they were super into it, and then we did it, and I'm just so excited now to have this.
Very
I
cool.
wish I had one right here for you.
Yeah.
I'll get you one. if you
Yeah,
want one.
I mean, it's interesting because Persepolis did so well as well as a kind of as an animation, and that raw graphic element is something that is so stark and so powerful. And so to see like the colors of it, I saw a few pages of it online, obviously, but it looks really cool, and I think it's just super smart to have these kind of multiple facets to your project.
And to get to use all the stories. I mean, it's like, so, I just love that the universe can live on. Like, it's fun.
Very cool. Thanks for coming in and spending a few minutes with us. We super appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.